Hey guys, Tyler from Stockscores here. Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to give you a little performance update for the Daytrader strategy for the month of March. As a quick reminder for those who haven't used my active live service, it's something where you can watch my trading screen. We have automated processes, algorithms that run to identify stocks that are moving. And what I'm going to show you is the performance summary for the month of March. Now, January and February were just quietly upward trending markets. When I say quietly, I mean without a lot of whipsaws, not a lot of volatility along the way. March was very different. We had the front half of the month was fairly normal, I would say, but in the back half we had a lot of whipsaws where, during the day you'd be up in the morning and then down in the afternoon and then maybe a little rally into the close, and that made it more challenging to trade, and it made it more important to watch the S&P chart to look for trend reversals. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is my spreadsheet that summarizes all of the entry alerts for the month. And you can see here on screen, we've got short and long. I'm just going to slide the screen over here. And so in the most raw form, without any other filters, which we'll talk about in a moment, but with no other filters, the longs, if all you did was take the longs for the opening half an hour, they totaled 112 RR for the month. And remember, RR stands for reward for risk. So if you risk 100 and you have an RR of 1, you've made 100. On the short side, if you shorted every single day, it actually did better, 195 RR. And that demonstrates the volatility that we had in the month of March. Now, we don't do that. We don't buy every day or short every day. Each morning, I try to identify whether it should be a long day or a short day. And so over here, you can see just S's and L's. And of course, L means long, buy, and S means short. And if we do that, that dramatically increases the number. And so what I do before the market opens is on the webinar, as I'm preparing for the day and about 5 minutes before the open, is I do my analysis and make my call whether it's long or short. And so that totaled 355 RR for the month. So obviously, looking at what the S&P 500 is likely to do for the day has a big impact on the month. Now, I want everyone to notice that in the front half of the month, it was pretty consistent profits. The last week, 4 out of the 5 days, and we're on the 5th day now, I haven't finished the day Friday, but 3 out of the 4 days there were losing days. As it stands right now, the Friday probably will be a profitable day, but we'll have to wait and see for the market to close. But that demonstrates something that's quite common at the end of the quarter, is you get very light volume, you get an indecisive market, and it's a difficult time to trade. We are at the end of the quarter, which means not a lot of earnings announcements. That will change second week of April when the earnings announcement flow starts again, and that always generates lots of really good trading opportunities. So I just want to show you the RR chart because the numbers that you see here don't factor in slippage. These numbers over here do. So what I try to do is take off 0.25 RR for slippage. And so what I've done in this screen is just very quickly put together the daily RR, including slippage, and again factoring in 0.25 RR for slippage. And this is the cumulative RR for the month, and you can see the RR line. So again, front half of the month was doing quite nicely. At the end of the month, we had that drop off. I see this at the end of every quarter. The last week of the quarter, always more difficult to trade because there's just not a great flow of news, and people are I think a little bit hesitant waiting for the next month of earnings to come out. Now I want to show one other thing that we were working on this month in the live webinar, and that was trading off of what the S&P 500 trends are doing. So this, for example, is the day of March 20th, and you can see that we could actually take longs later in the day when there was a trend break. So on March 20th, we had a decent rally in the middle of the day, and you can see what that did for the reward for risk curve for stocks that alerted between 12 and 3. They had a really good run from just before 2 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. So that's something that I've been working on a lot this month with everyone and myself as well, is just to talk about what is the trend for the day and where are there opportunities to enter later in the day. And we've actually seen some great moves, even though this past week has been a lousy week for the trades taken at the start of the day. There have been great trades at the end of the day because we've had some good volatility into the close. Here's another example on March 22nd where the shorts really did well for the opening couple of hours and then kind of drifted for the rest of the day. But later in the day, if we go look at the long side, we had a little spike in the performance of the longs because there was a little bit of a bump in that trend. So the point there is that you want to do your analysis not only on the individual stocks, but on the market itself. Now, something that I have done in the latter part of March, because March was challenging in the last week, is I'm now coming on and doing a lot more commentating, talking about what the trend is and that sort of thing. And that's been real popular with the people in the live, active live webinar. I actually did a poll yesterday asking if they wanted me to do that, and 100% of participants indicated that that was a good idea. So I will continue to do that in April. Most of my discussion of things, what I'm seeing, setting up for the day will come in the first hour, but I'll come on a little bit through the day if I see something important as well. Even on a day when there is not a great RR performance, there are always going to be a couple of stocks that do well. And one of the things I've been trying to teach this past month, and I will in April as well, is just how to identify those sort of midday movers that become quite hot stocks, those stocks that can move for 5 to 10 RR. They often come in the middle of the day. They're not very common. Maybe you get one a day or one every couple of days, but when you do get them, they make some big moves. So we'll continue to try to focus on that as well. If you want to register for Active Live, of course, you have to be an active trader member of Stockscores. You can go to the Stockscores.com website, look in the Learn to Trade to see how to become an active trader member. If you are already an active trader member, great. You can subscribe to the Active Live service, and there's a little video that explains how it works. Just go to the Stockscores.com website, go to the upcoming events page, or under stock trader analysis or something like that, one of the menus at the top of the screen, there will be a link to the Active Live page as well. Either way, upcoming events or the Active Live page will have a link to sign up for April, but again, you have to be an active trader member to be eligible for that. It just keeps our numbers down. I don't want too many people in the webinar because everyone's doing the same thing. It starts to take away the opportunity. Having a small group of people, we can take advantage of it that way. So hope to see some of my active trader members in for April, and have a great rest of the week trading. Trade well.